Thank you for joining me for Pilates, and this morning all we're going to need is either a block or a cushion, or you can have one of each. It's up to you whether you want to use some weights or a band. If you know what you're doing with them, then I'll let you add those in. So I hope you're okay, you've not got any injuries or issues that might cause any problems during the class. If you need to stop at any point, that's fine. So let's take our feet to hip distance apart. Pull our pants up, tuck your t-shirts in if you need to. And bring the feet to hip distance. So have a look down and just check the feet are parallel. Unless you normally stand with them right out to the side and you can't get them to the front, then just make sure that they're balanced, they're even, symmetrical. Okay, so once we're there, start to rock forwards and backwards. So the feet are sensory, they're your foundations. Spread your toes out. Think about the pads underneath the bottom of each toe. And push the pads down into the floor. And then go back onto the heel pad. Your cushioning of your feet. And can you spread the toes out? I can't do it, but try and get your toes to spread out if you can. And some people can really get their toes wider, like, ugh. Mine don't do it. Okay, and if you want to, you can do like a Mexican wave with the toes. So I can almost do that. Okay, and then get the feet firmly planted into the floor. And now move side to side and just feel the weight go into one foot then the other. Loading up one leg, loading up the other leg. Place the hands on the hips. And just try and keep the pelvis level, just so we're not dipping down as we go side to side. So let's start to center. Okay, and bring it to the middle. So the feet are firmly pressed into the floor. Little pelvic tilt forwards and backwards. Let's move up to pelvic tilts. So as we're rocking the pelvis forwards and backwards, so you can feel some movement into the hip joints, the ball and socket. Very slight movement. But you can probably feel more movement down into your lumbar spine. So as you stick your bum back, so you get this lordotic curve. And then you tuck under and it goes a bit flatter. If you can tuck right under, it goes completely flat. So let's find the point where you can get the bottom of the spine pulling down. Gentle curve in your lower back, and the belly button and the pubic bone go point straight down to the floor. Or we feel the aces bones at the front of your pelvis. That's the anterior superior iliac spine, aces bones, and line them up with the pubic bone to make a triangle down to the floor. Okay, now lengthen through your spine as if you're trying to create space between the vertebrae. Lengthening, lengthening, pushing the top of your head up as high as you can. And trying to keep everything stacked over your pelvis and feet. If you do move, then just realign your feet again. Stick your chin forwards and then pull your chin back. Just be very careful if you've got any neck problems. So you go in chin forwards, that's one exaggeration, chin back. As your chin goes forwards, your neck will shorten at the back and it will compress the discs. So bring it back. Okay, but you don't want it to be too far back because you might not be able to breathe. So you want to just find sort of halfway, but it feels like it's lifting up through the back of your neck. So the cervical spine is lengthening. Just think about you're trying to get a weight off of the discs. The back of the ears are being pulled up. Okay, let's roll the shoulders. So give a squeeze into your chest and then into your back. So protraction, retraction, elevation as they come up and depression as they come down. And then you want to draw the shoulders down. Feel the shoulder blades glide as if they're going down towards your back pockets of your trousers. Obviously they won't go that far. And push the middle fingertip down the seam at the side of your trousers or shorts there. or your pajamas, or your nightie, whatever you're doing this in. Okay, now start to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. Take your breath down and round into the lower ribs. Think about aiming for these back ribs down here. So you feel like it's a circle going around the rib cage, expanding and shrinking. And then think of the abdominals like a corset. They go right down to the pubic bone, around the pelvis, up the spine, around your ribs. Think about those muscles there. And just gently draw them in a tiny bit, just so you're aware they're switching on. So we've done an alignment, the breathing and centering. We've gone carefully through all the alignment. And we've done some shoulder rolls. So inhale, let's exhale, raise the right arm in front. Inhale, lower it down. Now exhale, raise the left. Keeping everything centered, aligned, stable. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. We're going to start to raise the opposite heel. Let the knee bend so your pelvis stays completely still. So we've pulled it right back to basics here. Taking our time and really focus. So one of the principles is concentration. So concentrate on the coordination of the opposite arm to leg. Keeping the alignment from aces bone to aces bone. The neutral spine and pelvis. Okay, and then raise your arms out to the side. Take a breath in. As you exhale, reach up and over with your right hand over towards the left and inhale back. And then exhale, take the other arm over the top, reach into the arm and back. If you've got back issues, there could be bone problems, you'll need to make this much smaller. And over we go, side to side. Reach and back. As if you glide in between two panes of glass, one way and another way. As you're reaching over, you can feel the stretch down the side, from under the arm down through your obliques and QLs. Keeping the neck lengthen in the shoulders and drawing down away from the ears. Just do one more on each side. And then relax. And pull your t-shirt back down. Give the shoulders a little roll there. Good. Okay, we're going to go for a hip hinge. So check your alignment again. So we're thinking about breaking from the hips, keeping the spine and the neck in the same position. So imagine there's a piece of string attached to the very bottom of your spine. Someone stood behind you pulling that string, and it's making your bottom stick out backwards without your upper body bent flexing. So we're hinging from the hip. So you are flexing from the hip joint, but not from the spine. Okay, you could do this with a pole behind your back. Hold the top of it, hold the bottom of it, and think about have the back of the head, the thoracic spine, the sacrum touching the pole. So it's been quite good for a beginner to learn to do the hip hinge first. Really good exercise. It strengthens your back, it strengthens your glutes, really important muscles, and your hamstrings. Helps with posture. So you can have the hands on the front of the thighs and squeeze. So relaxing, slow movement. You just want to pull your shoulders back a bit. So as you hinge forwards, do your shoulders drop down? Is everything switched off in your upper back? Do you need to just pull your shoulder blades back a little bit towards each other and down? So just be aware of awareness of these muscles up here. So as you hinge, the shoulder blades stay in the same position and not separate. I mean, they should be a few inches apart. Squeeze your bum and your hamstrings. If you want to work a little bit harder, take your hands across your chest. It's a good idea if you've got a mirror to stand near you when you're doing your Pilates. So you can have a look in the mirror, or if you've got somebody with you, tell them to have a look at your back and check that you're staying in neutral. Last one. And center. Place the hands on the hips. So use foot pedals, so there's a little bit of movement. So we're not standing completely still for too long. Just get the movement through your ankles. Okay, again, just check alignment, neutral, the center, the stability. Are we stacked, or are we slightly leaning forwards? Are you leaning backwards? That's another one that some people do. It's called sway back. So that's a bad posture. This is a bad posture. A neutral posture in the middle. Okay. Also, some people slightly lean to one side. If you've got scoliosis, that might be the case. You might just have to really think about getting yourself in the center. Opposite arm to heel. And then back to center. Good stuff. Place the palms together in the prayer position. And bring the thumbs towards your sternum. Have a quick look down. Check your feet are in neutral. Okay, I want you to just relax your knees a little bit, not squatting, but just so they're not locked straight. So like a little bit bouncy knees, or what some people say, soft knees. I'd say relaxed. So taking a breath in to prepare, and we're going to exhale, rotate, keeping your thumbs at the sternum. Inhale back in. This can be done sat on a chair as well. Quite a lot of these exercises can be done sat down. So our aim is to get the rotation of the spine, but the bottom of it staying still, which means we need to keep the pelvis facing forwards. So you're gonna feel like you're slightly twisting your pelvis the opposite way to the upper body. But what you're actually keeping it facing forwards. Okay. Are you still in neutral with your pelvis? If you're quite tight in your lower back, like I am, sometimes when you forget about the neutral, your bum will start to stick out. The pubic bone goes further back than the aces bones. So you just need to tuck under and continue with your rotation. Exhale away, shoulders relaxed. Okay, really focus on this technique. Your hips are staying forwards. Hopefully mine are. One more each side. the shoulders and roll there. So let's move down to the lower body again, and we're going to go into our squat. So we start with a slight hip hinge, which we practiced already, and then we go into a squat. Feet hip distance apart, check your alignment. Okay, slightly push your hips back. We'll do it in 2 moves to start with. Hips go back slightly, bend your knees, hands slide down to the side of the knees. As you come up, knees straight and hips come back in. This is called the correct lumbo-pelvic rhythm. The rhythm that the body moves in to give you that good technique squat. Shoulders are back and down. Feet stay firmly planted into the floor. Hips go back. And again, when we did the hip hinge, remember the shoulders want to stay back. We're going to float one arm forwards, and then come up, and then float the other arm forwards. One arm goes forwards, and then the other. Okay, hips are going straight back. Check your alignment through your feet, knees and ankles. Can you see your toes if you just glance down? Is your bottom sitting back? Okay, so finish on your left arm if you started on the right, last one. Back to center, and give the shoulders a roll. And back to center. Okay, let's take the feet wide. And turn your toes to the corners of the mat if you're standing on the mat, or the corners of the room. About 10 to 2 o'clock. Again, you want to feel the floor under the pads of your toes and your heels. Just have a little go turning your heels in and out and see what happens. If the outside edge lifts up, your knees turn in, so we don't want to squat like that. Okay, if you turn your feet all the way out, okay, that feels a bit better on the legs, but it's putting a lot of pressure on the outside of your ankle. So, feet flat on the floor. Big toe, little toe, heel, even pressure. Are you ready? And we're going to inhale to squat down. So your knees are going to travel towards the ankles and squeeze back up. Down and back up. Okay, just float the arms up by the side. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale. Now we're taking the breath still into the thoracic area, lateral thoracic breathing. Float up. And just checking that those knees are still going out towards the side. And the feet still firmly on the floor. So we always just keep doing that scan through the body to check about the alignment, the centering. Okay, so Pilates is about keeping that balance through your body. And 2 more. One more. And back up to the top. And then just wiggle your feet back in. And have a little march there with your legs, or a little foot pedal. Back to center. Okay, so now we're going to do a split stance squat. So we're going to have our right foot forwards, and we're going to take our left foot just back so that the toe is in line with your heel. And they're still hip distance apart. Now those of you who want to work harder, if you want to, you can put a block under your front foot. So you go like that. Or if you put it on the cushion, if it's more spongy, that'll make it more challenging. So right foot forwards, left foot back. Now lift the back heel up a tiny little bit, but just check that it doesn't lift your hip up at the side. So look for your neutral, look for your alignment and your center. Okay, hands across the chest. So same as before with a narrow hip hinge and squat back. And I want you to push through the front leg more than the back leg. 1. Inhale slowly down. Exhale 2. Deep breath in. Exhale. 3. 4. Just look at the knees again for a second. Check they're not twisting them out. 5. 5 more to go. 6. And just watch. Really use those glutes on that right side. 7. So here, I'll show you here. 8. Back to neutral. Squeeze your bum. 2 more. 9. And 10. And back to center. Well done. Good. So let's do the same on the other side. Left foot forwards, take your right foot back. It's still hip distance apart. Okay, just check when you lift the back heel slightly up that your pelvis is still level. It's not hitched your hip up like that. Okay, it's likely that you feel that in your back anyway if it was that unbalanced. Place your hands across your chest. Relax your shoulders. Let's concentrate, look straight ahead. Inhale, squat. Exhale, lift. You can make this more challenging by closing your eyes if you want to. 4. Give it a go. 5. 6. 7. 8. Last 2. 9. And 10. Well done. Back to center. Okay. So we're going to do one more standing exercise. And it's going to be a little bit more balance. So if you've stood on the mat, it is easier if you're on a harder surface, but we're usually on carpets when we're working out at home. So just how you get on. You can always use a wall to lean against. Try not to let your body go sideways though. Okay, so like before, we're going to start. Feel your pelvis. Let's go to heel raise and lower. Heel raise and lower. Okay, if you can, lift the knee up and lower. Now move the weight across sideways without tilting. So it's a shift of the pelvis over one leg and lift, just to the height of the hip. Okay. Again, just engage your core gently, your center. And let's take the opposite arm in front. Okay. Now, once you do the left side, we're going to take the leg out to the side. Just slide it out, slide it in. Slide out with the big toe, slide in. Focus on your center, so that little bit of abdominal bracing there. You don't have to pull in 100%, that's be uncomfortable. Lift up through pelvic floor muscles. Okay, we can take the opposite arm out to the side. Bring it back in. Opposite arm out to the side. Bring it back in. And then we can lift the leg up. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Excellent. Back to center. And that is your standing part of our Pilates class. Well done.